Akademiks, and check it out now. Kodak Black update. Now, if you guys don't know, man, Kodak Black been behind bars for some while. After police saw him on Instagram doing a lot of coonery, they ran up in his crib, they took guns, they said, y'all are smoking weed, you on probation, y'all niggas done fucked up, okay? Now, that's definition of when keeping it real goes wrong. You can't keep it real on Instagram Live when you know there's more cops watching than your fans. However, he's back in jail and he is now fighting to get back out, and his lawyers are trying to use every and anything to get him out of jail. Now, there was a conversation that leaked about like a couple weeks ago where he was saying that, the prosecutor might let him out of jail or might recommend that he get out of jail, but he got to move out of his neighborhood.
I heard something, you know what I'm saying? They say they don't want to send a nigga out the road, so that's what they want to do. But they ain't talk about how long. He just told me, the lawyer just told me, you want me to move out my neighborhood. I heard something.
Okay, now, if you're wondering where Kodak Black is living these days, he ain't living in the hood. He was actually living in Pembroke Pines, okay? It's an upscale neighborhood in Florida. However, they believe that that neighborhood and where he was living is too close to where all the fuckery and his homies is at, so constantly they're over at his crib, and that is endangering his situation. He's on probation and all that, and it's making these situations worse, okay? So they want him to move out of there. He's kind of telling the judge, well, I'm already moving, and by the way, we got news from TMZ that they are packing up and getting the fuck out of Pembroke Pines, okay? Also, we hear the neighbors, and by the way, I saw the neighbors one time with him on Instagram, live or whatever. They were like cool with him. However, this is word from like the housing association and from some unknown neighbors. They say they hated this nigga, okay? They claimed he was bringing a lot of coonery to the community, so they're glad to get him the fuck out of there. However, we do have some more developments. Kodak Black's lawyer, or actually no, Kodak Black's judge that denied him bail is now off of all cases where bail could be granted. What does that mean? He cannot sit on any first hearing where arraignments and bail will be determined. Basically, you know why? They caught the motherfucker on tape, and he was saying some wild shit, all right? He basically said, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. If a motherfucker do a burglary in my neighborhood, man, that nigga is getting double the bond. I'm actually putting this shit sky high. The closer to my crib, the higher the fucking bond is going to be. Now, is that surprising to me? Fuck no. Listen, if you guys been in and out of court, man, or if you've seen different judges, every judge got their own bias. Listen, I just went to see like a judge, and the judge basically, she has certain prejudice against certain charges just because like her family and her loved ones were affected by those things. For example, she don't fuck with nobody who do drunk driving. She's gonna fuck you up even more than the mandatory minimum. Also, she don't fuck with nobody who do speeding. Even if the DMV said, you don't have to take his license, you don't have to suspend it, she's gonna suspend it because the court has that power. She don't fuck with speeding because she lost a loved one to speeding. She's also very sensitive to certain burglary and theft charges, okay? You know why? Because her shit got stolen by a motherfucking criminal. So when she gets people who are walking into her court, and by the way, if you're asking me how I know this, these are people, and I won't even call out their names from the court, they say these are things she went through, so she has a reputation for being tough with those cases, right? So I'm saying all that to say, every judge got their bias just based on their own personal situation. So, for example, if a judge had a daughter that was raped, believe me, if that judge get a fucking rape case that come on her goddamn table, no bail, nigga, I might sentence you to fucking life in prison or some type of fucking torture, okay? That's just what it is because, again, it's that personal bias, right? Now, what this judge actually said, I think all judges feel. You're just not supposed to say it. You're not supposed to actually say it out your mouth like, man, nigga stole my goddamn flat screen last week, so the next time I see somebody in here who stole a fucking flat screen, I'm going in on them and they ain't getting bail. So basically, that judge is off the case, but how does this actually help Kodak Black? Does it help Kodak Black? It kind of doesn't, kind of does not. Now, they could revisit him not getting bail, but is it likely for him to get bail? To be honest, hell no. Kodak Black was on 2 probations. If you don't remember his charges, this nigga got charges for kidnapping, assault, fucking multiple weapon charges, weed, driving with no license, evading the police, motherfucking like running on top of traffic lights. Those are minor, but still, he was selling drugs, okay? They got him for drug charges. He was selling drugs while he was getting booked for $7,000 a show. That was the second case he caught that he had to get on probation for. The first one was supposedly somebody robbed his mom or something like that, and he ran up in those people's house and kidnapped, tied him up, gun bought him, beat him up, elbow dropped him, and then the police called him off after that. So I'm saying all that to say, the mere fact that he was locked up again, I mean, I know Florida is tough. It would kind of mean that he would not get bond even if this judge wasn't biased against certain people. And we don't even know if this judge was biased against Kodak Black. However, it's at least interesting that they're going to look into the case. His lawyers are treating it like, hey, this is a small victory and we could possibly get him out of jail. And perhaps if the prosecutor is saying that, hey, all he got to do is move, and he's already moving. Now we're hearing that this judge is kind of fucked up and now off the case, and now it's going to be a new judge. With the new information that comes to light, he might get out of jail, and if he does, I hope he changes all the situation around. He needs to get permanently banned from Instagram Live. Matter of fact, he needs his label to run his goddamn Instagram, because he's on that shit doing pure bullshit, okay? I want Kodak to be free because I fuck with his music, and I do think he's a good guy. I've talked to him on multiple occasions, but he seems misguided, okay? Get a comment box, make sure you guys like them, subscribe, your boy Akademiks.